this teacher essayed her 15-year-old student during what was supposed to be a tutoring session. She repeatedly denies the allegations, claiming that she is just good looking and that he became obsessed with her. In reality, she took advantage of her authority. Plus, what investigators found on her phone after her arrest only made things more disturbing. Let's talk about it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing super well. Today, we're going to be talking about a case about a female teacher in Illinois who is facing allegations of inappropriate and sexual misconduct with a 15-year-old student. These kind of cases are just happening way too often, and it's just so disturbing that they're not always taken seriously or in the same way when the perpetrator is a woman. People tend to hear about these cases and think of it as an achievement for the male teenager, or see it as like a joke, saying things like, oh, well, the boy got what he wanted, like it's all good, or good for him, she's hot, or oh my gosh, where were these teachers when I was in high school? If the roles were reversed, if these were nearly 30-year-old male teachers and teenage girls, there would be outrage, a completely different reaction. So why is it treated so differently when the victim is a teenage boy? There is a legal age of consent for a reason. No matter the gender or how willing both parties were, a minor cannot give real consent. Teenagers are still developing mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. They are very vulnerable to manipulation and can't set boundaries as easily as adults. Parents, guardians, and caregivers, I want to encourage you to talk with your teens about consent, but also about how boundaries can be overstepped so quickly if they don't know the early warning signs. It's also so important to create an environment at home where your child or your teen can go to you free from fear of judgment to report something. The more we are aware and educate children and teens, we can hope that less cases like this will happen. I feel like every time I log on to Twitter or like TikTok, I see a new case like this, and I'm just like, how is this constantly going on? It's just absolutely disturbing. If you guys watch my first part on this like female teacher series that I'm doing, you guys know how strongly I feel about this. I just don't think that the inappropriate jokes and just the way people minimize this is okay. I think if this was your son, your cousin, your little brother, your best friend, like your loved one, I don't think you would be making these type of jokes and thinking like this is so cool that like he was with a teacher. Like, no, it's not cool. And what we're going to be talking about today is not cool whatsoever. It's actually very disturbing what this teacher did to this student. If you guys haven't seen part 1, I will have it linked down below. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening to these cases and for being a part of the familia. Thank you. Also, thank you to everyone who watched my small appearance on America's Most Wanted Missing Persons. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. And I'm just so happy to be a small part of the episode. And I'm just really happy that Dane's family was given this platform. If you guys want to hear more about that episode, I will have my original TikTok and like my post about Dane linked down below so you guys can hear his story. And also just make sure to go watch the episode. It is currently on Hulu right now. Before we jump in, I just want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, ZDOC. As I've gotten older, I've realized how easy it is to put your health on the back burner. You feel a weird ache or notice something off and just brush it off, thinking it'll just go away on its own. I used to do that all the time, convincing myself I didn't really need to see a doctor or that I didn't have the time. But the truth is, our bodies just don't bounce back the way they used to, and ignoring those little signs can turn into bigger problems later. Choosing to be proactive instead of reactive is one of the best things I've done for myself, and one of the tools that's helped me actually stick to that. Today's video sponsors ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors, read verified reviews, and book appointments right on the spot. I'm an active ZocDoc user. I've booked appointments with my dermatologist and dentist through their easy-to-use website. I needed to find a dermatologist ASAP to help with a skin rash that I had. I know, gross, but thankfully ZocDoc was able to present a variety of options for me to choose from, and I was able to get an appointment quickly. I've even helped my dad find last-minute doctor's appointments through ZocDoc, and we just really love that you can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are nearby, who are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and who are highly rated by verified patients. For me, the reviews are so important, so it's great how transparent ZocDoc is. You get to see real-time availability and book something that works with your schedule. A lot of times it's just 24 to 72 hours out, and sometimes even the same day. You can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit. You don't even have to talk with anyone, just book with a few clicks. It's just so amazing. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Jackie Flores, also linked in the description, to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Thank you again to ZocDoc for sponsoring today's video, and with that, let's jump right in. Now, let's start off by talking about 30-year-old Christina Formella. Christina was born Christina Noel Quiotes on December 29th, 1994, to her parents Nicholas and Miranda. She grew up in the Chicago suburbs alongside her younger sister Lexi and attended Maine South High School in Park Ridge, Illinois. There, she was a member of the soccer team and graduated in 2013. She went on to study at Concordia University in Chicago, majoring in special education and earning an endorsement in middle school language arts. During her time at university, Christina met her boyfriend, Michael Formella, who was a year behind her and was actually studying sports management. Both were very active in sports, Christina continuing to play soccer throughout university, while Michael played baseball. The two dated for several years and ended up marrying in the summer of 2024 in the Amalfi Coast in Italy. They had this stunning wedding in Italy, and then afterwards, when they returned to the United States, they had another reception, with other friends and family that, weren't able to make it to Italy, and they just appeared very joyful in all these pictures, surrounded by their family members and by their loved ones. Now, we don't really know much besides that about Christina's personal life, but that's kind of some background as to how she met her husband. Now, going back a little bit, in 2020, Christina began working as a special education teacher at Downers Grove South High School in Illinois. This same year, she got her master's degree in education technology. By early 2021, she had taken on an additional role as a coach for both the girls and the boys soccer teams, so she was very involved in the school and just involved in the community and just involved with the students. At the beginning of 2025, so just recently, Christina earned a second master's degree, this time in teaching English learners. So yeah, things seem to be going very well for Christina. She had just completed her second master's degree. She had a stable job. She was still active in the soccer world. She was a soccer coach now. She loved being a teacher. She had just gotten married in Italy and appeared very happy on social media. However, everything changed on Sunday, March 16th of this year, 2025, when Christina was unexpectedly pulled over by police while driving. A police officer approached Christina's vehicle, asked for her driver's license, and instructed her to step out of the car, adding that she could take and just grab whatever she needed with her. Christina froze. She looked so confused. "Whatever I need?" she asked. The officer said, "Yeah, whatever you need, like your phone or your purse." Christina, looking shocked, slowly began grabbing her things. She reached for her fanny pack and her phone as she was trying to make sense of what on earth was going on. Her husband Michael was seated beside her in the passenger seat and asked if she was going somewhere and what was happening. He sounded just as confused as Christina. However, the officer didn't offer much in response. He told Christina that they would explain everything, as soon as they could, and just repeated that she should just finish gathering her things. So he was being just very ominous, and Christina and her husband just continued asking, like, "Okay, but where are we going? Like, what's going on?" After Christina gathered her belongings and turned off the car, Christina was informed that there was an active investigation involving her and that detectives at the police station needed to speak with her. Still, no specific details were given as to why this was happening. She was placed in handcuffs and escorted to the back of a police vehicle. Sitting there, Christina continued to ask questions: if she was in trouble, what this was about, and whether her husband would be allowed to meet her at the police station. But no one provided answers as to what was actually going on. The silence on the way to the police station made her more and more nervous. She just looked very confused and just completely caught off guard, as if whatever was happening had completely come out of nowhere. She was absolutely baffled.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Officer Guzman with Downers Grove. Do you have your license on you?
Yes. Can I?
Yeah, I'm gonna explain. I'm sure you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. You're Christina?
Yes.
Okay, Christina, do me a favor. Can you step out of the car for me? I know you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. You don't have anything on you? You can just grab whatever you need.
Whatever I need.
Yeah, whatever you need. Like your phone, your purse, go ahead and grab it.
Is she going somewhere? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna explain everything to you guys. Go ahead and grab it. We're not going anywhere right now. Of course, yeah.
I don't understand what's going on here.
I get it, yeah. You can go grab your things.
Can he come with me?
Yes. You stay there right for right now, sir. Just stay there, but yes, you can. But come on back here.
Should I shut the car off?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Goes off. Okay. Let's right back over here. So, we do have an investigation going on. We have to talk to you about it at the police department, okay? So we're going to explain everything to you there. It's not my investigation. I don't know the full details. We do have to bring you there, though, okay? So I do have to put you in handcuffs and bring you to the police department. Just a Downers Grove.
handcuffs.
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
I'm like willing to go with you.
I get it, yeah. Unfortunately, we have to do it that way. So do me a favor, we just take this off.
Can I ask you
Of course, yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not my investigation. Obviously, we're here for a reason. So go ahead and turn around for me. So right now, you're just being detained, and there is a detective that needs to talk to you at the police department. So we'll let your husband know. He can just come to the police department as well if he wants to wait for you there.
I'm like...
I get it. You have a lot of questions.
So scared.
Yeah, everything's okay. We just need to talk to you at the police department. That's all. Nothing else on your pocket right now? Anything else?
Just my phone.
Just your phone?
Here.
Okay. Okay. All right, we're going to sit in the back of this car. On the other side, once you get to the police department, you'll talk to the detective and he'll explain everything to you.
But you can't even give me like an idea
At the moment,
what this is about?
Other than that it's an investigation, that's all I can really tell you right now. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you more.
Excuse me, is my husband coming with?
Yes, yeah, he's taking his phone number down. We're staying in touch with him. We're just going to Downers Grove, so 10 minutes away.
No, I know, but I really would prefer that my husband's with me.
Of course.
Am I in trouble? Like, I'm so lost right now. I'm
sure you are. Like I said, I can't answer any questions right now. Just to tell you that right now you're being detained for an investigation and we're bringing you into the police department. And once you get there, they're going to fill you in on everything.
Once at the police station, detectives explained to her that this arrest came as a result of an investigation conducted by the Downers Grove Police Department and the DuPage County Children's Advocacy Center. But why? Like, what led to this? How did she just get randomly pulled over as she was pulling into her house with her husband? Well, it all started when a mother of a male student at Christina's school, who we will refer to as John for the sake of the video, was setting up her son's iCloud account because they had just bought him a new phone after his last one broke. While she was setting up his phone, she came across these very disturbing messages, which just left her horrified. They were text messages between her son and an unknown number, which discussed previous sexual intercourse between the two and even some sort of a relationship. It was later confirmed that Christina was this unknown number. Now, her son John would have been 15 years old and Christina 28 years old, so no relationship out of, being a teacher and a student should be going on between them because he's literally underage. Now, some of these text messages from Christina were along the lines of, quote, "I love having sex with you," and "I love you so much, baby. Even though this morning was short, it was perfect." Then the student would reply with things such as, "I love you so much, mama," and "I know, baby, I love it so much. It feels so good. It's so passionate. It's so intimate. It's so perfect." I just can't imagine the way the mother must have felt when she saw these messages that indicated a teacher was essaying her son. It's so disturbing. The mother then confronted John with these messages and took him straight to the police station to make an official report. There, he spoke with the detectives and told them that, him and Christina had only had one sexual encounter, which was in December of 2023. Also, just as a note, this was before Christina and Michael got married, but they were still dating as far as we know. Obviously, that doesn't matter because it's still wrong, but I just wanted to kind of make a note of the timeline. So yeah, she was already in this but she was already abusing this student before she got married. Like, can you imagine? Like, she was there in Italy with all of her loved ones saying her vows and just saying all this BS when she knew the whole time she had been abusing a student and was like in love with him. The student John also told police that he last spoke with Christina in February of 2024, where they both acknowledged that what happened between them was wrong and where he ended their relationship. How did this even happen? How did this teacher end up doing this to a student? Well, investigators believe that the inappropriate relationship began when Christina, who had been the student's soccer coach, started tutoring John when he was recovering from a broken collarbone. The two initially communicated through a school platform, but she eventually gave him her personal phone number so that they could play an online game called 8-Ball Pool. It was around that time that investigators say that the provocative text messages and FaceTime calls began. This would ultimately lead to December of 2023, when Christina first essayed him in the classroom before school began. This meetup was under the pretense of a tutoring session condition that she was going to provide for John. But once John entered the classroom, Christina closed the door behind him and the two began grabbing each other, undressing each other, and ultimately having sexual intercourse, which is sexual assault. The student was 15 years old and therefore unable to give consent, while Christina was a 28-year-old woman who chose to engage in this illegal act anyway. Now, with this information, once John reported this to the police and confirmed that this was Christina was arrested, as we saw in the body cam footage, and she was charged the next day with 2 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse and 1 count of aggravated criminal sexual assaults. After Christina learned the charges she was facing, she just broke down in tears in the back of the police car as she was being taken to be booked and said that she felt like she was going to throw up, to which then they brought her a bag and some paper towels. She was sobbing and hyperventilating with her face buried in her hands and her knees pulled to her chest while saying things like, "What the F? What is going on?"
What the
Now, I do wonder if she already knew what this arrest was about the minute she got pulled over. There's just no way you don't know. You know what I mean? You're already doing something illegal. You're already doing something you know is wrong. So to see police pull up behind you and arrest just you, not your husband, she must have already known what was going on. So yeah, a lot of people are just surprised at her reaction to the charges because it's how did you not know this was going to happen? But I don't know. I feel like she personally just thought that she was going to get away with this, which is why she was crying and acting surprised because she wanted to keep up, the ruse that she had no idea this was happening. So she got booked at the jail and had her mugshot taken, but was released under the condition that she not enter the school grounds or be in contact with anyone under the age of 18 after the court denied the state's motion to detain Christina pre-trial. She was also placed on administrative leave with pay by the high school. Now, Christina's belongings were looked at, and inside her phone, investigators found certain things that stuck out in her notes app. In these notes, she expressed her anger that her relationship with John ended and referred to him as a, quote, disgusting student who cheated on her. There was a note titled Manifestations where she expressed how she hoped he would reach out to her to try and fix things between them. Some things in this section include, quote, we will both get closure we need in order to move on in a healthy way. We will be able to be a part of each other's lives forever. We will be in each other's lives forever. We will be able to love each other while also living our own lives. Then she would go on to write things that said, quote, in the meantime, I'm going to live my best life knowing he's not the person I thought he was and that he is beneath me. There was also a pretty lengthy note entry in which Christina was saying that the student ruined them. She wrote, all I ever was to you was somebody to f***. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I'm not any of that. I've just lost interest. I went back and screenshotted every single time that I said we should break up until after the wedding and after you graduated. And every single time you came back and convinced me it would be fine. I initiated every single breakup, only for you to end things saying you couldn't get over it. You ruined us. I warned you that we should have never started dating a long, long time ago, and you gaslit me and convinced me it was fine every single time because that's who you are. So obviously these are very, very odd statements. She was very heated about what was going on with the student, the fact that he cheated on her and ruined the relationship, which again is just so insane to be even writing in her notes app, because this was not a relationship. This wasn't the love of her life. This wasn't something like that. You know what I mean? I think it's crazy how she was basically unraveling and just kind of going crazy over this breakup with this student. Christina then went on to write, quote, we will never be together again. I'm not a second choice. I'm the best thing you'll ever have, even with all of my mistakes. You once again waited and strung me along until it was convenient for you. It broke me last time. This time, it changed me. I'm not sad. I'm mad I let a 16-year-old F with me like that, and I promise to myself that I will never let any guy F with me ever like that again. Ever. In the end, we both lost. You lost the girl who would have stuck with you through thick and thin, who would have changed anything about herself to make you happy, and I lost the person I was before I met you. Just very intense and disturbing. The fact that she was saying oh, let's break up until after you graduate and after the wedding. Why even still go through with your wedding and still go through with your relationship if you were planning on leaving him as soon as the student graduated? Also her saying I'm the best thing you would have ever have and known. I would have stuck with you through thick and thin. Girl, you are 28 years old. this is just crazy. So on her cell phone, there were also photos of John shirtless, as well as numerous text messages with other people where she spontaneously would just like bring up John's name. When questioned about these findings, Christina said she used the Notes app as a way to cope with her anxiety and wrote them as an outlet, but that any sexual statements in it were about her husband, Michael. She denied having any sexual encounter with the student and basically tried painting the entire situation as one where her student John simply became obsessed with her because she was so good looking, and said that everyone always goes after her because of that, because she's just way too pretty, but that she's just a good person who cared too much about the student. She also said that she was targeted and that this whole thing was a blackmail plot done by the student. Christina claimed that one day the student grabbed her phone when she left it unattended, entered her passcode, and then sent these explicit messages to his phone, pretending to be her, then deleted them from her phone, saving them on his phone as blackmail. How does that even make sense? Like, how would the student grab your phone and know your password? Like, why would he even do that? It just doesn't even make sense. She also said that the student was a stalker and that even her husband was aware of this. However, when police spoke to Michael, her husband, he told investigators that he knew nothing about the student besides the fact that he was a soccer player at the high school and that he doesn't even go through Christina's cell phone. So he was just completely unaware of this student and what was going on with him and his wife. Despite the alleged blackmail and stalking that Christina claims were happening from the student, she never made any report of it to the school or to his parents. So yeah, that's basically what she was claiming, that she's just way too pretty, that he became obsessed with her, and that because she's so pretty, people would like to do this to her, and that he was a stalker. Yeah, like just, I don't even understand. Although she did deny having any sexual encounter with the student, according to court documents, Christina did acknowledge like a relationship with him. The court document states Christina, quote, admitted that she knew her relationship was wrong, but she was unable to stop it because she just cares too much about him. I'm not really sure what that means. Like, I don't know if maybe she was again trying to make it seem like, oh, like I was just trying to be a good teacher by like reaching out to him and like being a part of his life and just making sure I was there for him. He took it the wrong way. I knew that it was going the wrong way, but I care about him too much to like end it. I don't know if she was trying to make it seem like it was that type of situation. So yeah, but she has denied, essaying him. On Monday, April 14th, 2025, Christina arrived in court with her husband for the first time. Neither of them answered any questions to the media. Inside, she pled not guilty to all the charges and denied speaking.
Christina, what happened with the student? Did you rape the student? Why? Help us understand. Anything you want to say?
A lot of people were shocked to see her husband by her side, especially since all of the charges and all of this information has been released publicly. So, her family knows what she was arrested for. His family knows, her friends know, his friends know, he knows. So like, he knows what's going on. Maybe the husband is in denial, or maybe he's just in shock. Like, I don't know. A lot of people just wonder, why is the husband still supporting Christina? It's not like she was arrested for like a traffic violation. She was arrested for doing something so disturbing. I can't even imagine how shocking that must have been for the husband, to find out that your wife has been like cheating on you with a student. Not even just cheating on you, but abusing a student. On Friday, April 18th, there was another hearing on whether or not photos and videos would be allowed in the courtroom after the Daily Mail Online filed a request to do so. I didn't find a confirmed outcome, but this is something both the defense and the prosecution object to for privacy reasons and not to prejudice potential jurors. Christina is due back in court on June 17th, 2025. We will see what happens with that. If there is new information on her upcoming hearing, I will definitely let you guys know. Her neighbors have been harassed by the media seeking statements, which has actually led to numerous calls to the police. And, both sides just don't want this to become a huge snowball in the media, just to ensure that there is a fair and a respectful trial. The high school also released a message regarding Christina's arrest. I'll put it here on the screen if you guys want to pause and read it. But the principal told the students and the families that they are cooperating with law enforcement to investigate the allegations. words. He expressed how devastated the community is from this broken trust and encouraged any student who needs to share something important with the school to do so via Safe to Help, which is a safe and confidential way for staff, students, and parents to report anything to the school, or by contacting a school counselor or by contacting himself directly. The Downers Grove Chief of Police, Michael DeVries, thanked the work of the detectives for their thoroughness in this deeply concerning case, saying, quote, "The safety and well-being of our children remain our highest priority, and we will take all necessary actions to ensure that anyone engaging in this type of conduct is held accountable." He also thanked the DuPage State Attorney Robert Berlin, his office, and the DuPage County Children's Center for all their help. Robert Berlin said that the allegations against Christina are extremely disturbing and that this type of abuse and behavior alleged in this case will not be tolerated. As of now, this is the information that we have on Christina Formella's case. We will see what happens in the upcoming months, and like I said, I will keep you posted, but it seems like people are taking this seriously. Like, it seems like they kind of want to make an example out of Christina and just kind of show to the public, like, listen, just because she's a woman doesn't mean that we're not going to take this seriously, and doesn't mean that we're going to, how do you say it, like, kind of minimize it, you know, just because she is a woman and the student was a male. This teacher-student abuse can happen to anyone and does more often than not. I know we talked about the show A Teacher in part 1 and how that show was just insane. It's about a female teacher who abuses her male student, and this show kind of reminds me of this case. A lot of people wonder, you know, why Christina did this. Why would she willingly get involved with the student, with a minor, if she knew it was wrong? Well, in the show, the teacher was bored in her life and in her marriage. So being with her student gave her some excitement. It made her feel young and alive again. Some people online speculate that maybe that's why Christina did this. Maybe she was bored in her life or just felt like she needed something more. How being with a minor would fulfill that, you know, that doesn't really make sense to me, but it could be a reason. It seems that she felt pretty hard for the student based on her notes app. You know, it's just really sad how she was like heartbroken over him and just kind of spiraling out of control. She ruined her life. She ruined this boy's life, her husband's life. I mean, so many people are affected by this. When the body cam footage was released online, of course, lots of people were shocked and just disgusted by what she did. But of course, there were those comments from people encouraging this and kind of hyping it up. I'll put some comments here on the screen if you guys want to pause to read them. Again, just because it's a female teacher doesn't make it less of a crime. I strongly encourage parents and guardians to have open, honest conversations with children and teens about situations like this and about abuse in general. Abuse isn't always obvious. It can start subtly, you know, through things like unusual attention from an adult, secretive communications, gifts, or requests to keep things hidden from others. It's essential to understand the importance of speaking up immediately if something inappropriate or uncomfortable happens, and to create an environment at home where your child feels safe coming to you with anything. They need to know that they will be listened to, believed, and supported without judgment or fear, because that can be the difference in saving a child from situations like this. I will be leaving some resources down below if you or anyone you know is a victim of sexual assault or abuse, as well as tips for parents to continue having these important conversations. With that, that is pretty much all the information I have for today. I just am very passionate about this, you know, specific topic. Sometimes, you know, when it's a female teacher or like a female abuser, you know, people kind of just take it a little bit lighter and just don't take it as seriously. And I just think that's wrong. So I'm here to, you know, spread awareness on this important topic and to spread awareness on how, you know, there are female abusers out there. And just because they're women doesn't mean they're not as evil. But anyways, I would love to know what you guys think about this down below. If you haven't watched my last video on the recent updates on Madeline Soto, a 13-year-old girl who was abused and murdered by her mom's boyfriend, make sure to click on the upcoming screen to watch along with another past case. Let's just keep spreading awareness together. Stay safe, familia, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.